So I decided to go with the G'day. Oh my god, am I even Australian? I can't even say G'day. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm bringing you the week 4 update for the Lips versus Eyes project challenge that I am doing with Brandy, Samantha and Shay. Reminder, everything linked down below. If you haven't yet checked out their channels, make sure you do. So let's do, as we have the last few weeks, a quick recap of what I was working on for week 3 before we go into what I'm working on for week 4. And we are getting close to the end, that is for sure. So this challenge is using the Pan Those Miraculous palettes created by Brandy and the September Lippy Challenge created by Sam. The palette for week 4 was your most brightest palette, and I went with the Beauty Bay EYN Bright palette. It's a 9-pan palette. Let me just show you. And this is what it looks like. If you are interested in swatches of any of these products from week 3, make sure you go back and check out the week 3 update. I'll have that linked somewhere in this vicinity. So let me pull this in a bit close. I'm not sure if you can really see because of the really sparkly outer packaging. But I have started to wear away some of the bees in these pans, and I only used it for 5 days. So over the last week I was moving house, so 2 of the days I didn't use the palette, though I did use the lipstick that does correspond to the day in question. I just didn't do any eye makeup. So I did use this for 5 days, and I love this palette. It is very pigmented, and they are quite, not necessarily hard to blend out, but they can be quite full colour. And I found that the green and the blue, which I used the green today, as you can see up in my crease, and I used the blue 2 days ago in my crease, I found them to be slightly patchy. Not too patchy. I mean, this is a full day's worth of wear, by the way. I've had this on my eye for 8, nearly 9, 10 hours now. So obviously they would wear away a bit because I do also have oily eyelids. But it did kind of get a bit patchy up here. And I will also say that the green and the blue were not the best, I guess, crease shades, blending shades, whatever you want to call them, because they are so dark. They are not as bright as I expected, unlike the other shades in this palette. I will also say that the pink, it stained my eyelids. Does that bother me? No. But if that bothers you, this one definitely is a staining palette. Anyway, I'm very happy to still have this in my collection, and I will definitely be reaching for it more often. So let's quickly go through the past 7 days worth of lips, and just a reminder, I'll put a picture up here of the look I created while wearing them. But like I said, 2 of these days I had no makeup on apart from the lip product, so those photos do look rather odd, especially because one of the days my eyelids were quite heavily stained from wearing the pink the day before, and I really look like probably I needed a good sleep. But we'll start. For day 15, I used a purple, which was this Amethyst by NYX Liquid Suede, and I really like this shade. I enjoyed wearing it, I enjoyed the look I created with it, and I will definitely continue to wear this in the future. And like I said, I quite like the NYX Liquid Suede formula. Next up, day 16 is a bold lipstick, and I went with another NYX Liquid Suede, and this one is in Oh Put It On, which is also quite a purple lip shade. I also enjoyed this, and I love the look I created with using this as well as the Brights palette. There's not really too much else I can say about it. You know how I feel about this formula, and I definitely liked this colour. 17 is a Bullets lipstick, and I went with the Maybelline, I forgot what these things are called. What are they called? Colour Sensational? Colour Sensational in Crazy for Coffee, which was this brown lipstick. I tried this, this is one of my days where I didn't wear any makeup, and I put this on with just by itself. And it's also a bit of a My Lips But Better. I found that it looks quite nice just by itself without having to wear anything else. I did like the formula. It is quite glossy, not creamy, glossy, shiny. That's probably the best way to describe it. I will say I put it on and then I went and had dinner, which was that the night I had pizza. And it did not last the whole pizza. But for a lipstick like this, you don't expect it to last through such things, and I would be happy just to reapply it. Day 18 was my favourite brand, and as you might remember, I went with a NYX lipstick. This is Up the Base, which I love this colour. It's one of those greyed out purples. I also wore this one without anything else on my face because it was a no makeup day. And I also really enjoy this product. It is kind of matte. It's a, I think these are called something matte. Matte lipstick is what they're called. So I expected it to be matte, really. It was matte. It's not hard to put on, and it's quite comfortable. And I definitely will continue to wear this in the future. Now for day 19, we are talking about a product I was unsure of, and I went with the Super Stay, try saying that 10 times fast. The Super Stay 24-hour colour by Maybelline. This is in Toffee, Timeless Toffee. And as I mentioned in my last update, I have had previous issues with this formula with it peeling up and pebbling off. Now this was a brand new when I used it. What I did was I put it on, I let this product set down before I put on the like glossy, sorry, it smells nice, the glossy top coat thing, and I found I did not have any issues. I do wonder if as this product ages, whether it will go back to the weird pebbling thing that I had last time. But for this time around, for the one time I have used it, I found it worked. But like I said, it was one of those products that in the past I found one day it would work fabulously, the next day it would not work well at all. So we'll see how we go. So day 20 is a matte formula, and I went with the MAC lipstick in Ruby Woo. This is a gorgeous red, and I wore this with a beautiful, what I considered sunset inspired look. I used lots of reds and oranges and yellows, and I love this look. I love this lipstick, and I would do all of what is currently going on here again. Now, last but not least, what I am currently wearing now. So this is day 21, and this is a lipstick inspired by my favorite movie. And I went with Concrete Jungle, which is one of, what are these called? It's just a Colour Sensational. Yes, it's another Maybelline Colour Sensational. And this one is in another purpley grey shade. I will say, in comparison to the NYX one, this is more grey and this is definitely more of a purple, but I do quite like both of them. Let me give you a little hand swatch so we can actually do a little comparison. So even on my hands here, you can see this is the Colour Sensational and this is the NYX, and definitely this one is a lot more purple than the Colour Sensational. Now, I was a little inspired by Sam. I'm not sure what day it was, the other day, she used a lipstick similar to this one, and she actually used it as blush. So I also decided to do that today. Can you tell? I don't think so. But literally all I did was swipe it on my face and use the brush to blend it out. So the colour that's currently here, I can't tell if this has come from this or whatever is under my face. But either way, I did quite like it. Let me test it out. Let me test it out a little bit for you on my hand. So I have the two purples, and let me just... This is basically all I did. Can you see? I'm not sure if it just completely got brushed away. I feel like there is a slight colour change there, but nothing too much. But it is something that I would like to test more often. I don't mind how this has turned out. I did find it to be a bit more like a reddy bruise than overly purple. I thought it would be a lot more purple, but it didn't really turn out that way. But I definitely think I will try to use these purples a little bit more in blush going forward. Now on to week 4, which is technically the second to last week before the end of the September Lippy Challenge. So this week goes right up until the 28th. So there will be only 2 more days left for next update, and I'll give you a little heads up. There will be some interesting changes coming up then, and we're going to be trying some different things going forward with the Pan Those Miraculous palettes. You have to tune in next update to find out what that is, but let's stop dilly-daddling around and we'll jump straight into week 4's palette. So week 4's theme is your most unused palette. This can either be your most ignored or your most new palette. Now I have got a few new palettes that I haven't touched. In fact, I have many a palette that I have not used even once, as you will know, because I have been doing the Dust Collectors Get Ready With Me once a month with Paula, so make sure to check that one out. I'll have that linked up above, not below, up above. And just so you know, I will be using the palette that I'm using today for this following week in the next episode of that Get Ready With Me. But what palette do I have? I had quite a few to pick from, and I guess most recently I got 2 Essence palettes. One was the New York palette, I forgot the exact title, and the other one is the G'day Sydney palette. So I decided to go with the G'day Sydney palette. Now, according to the back of this, because I do enjoy a bit of a, you know, a bit of a spill, it says, G'day Sydney, experience life down under, chilling on one of the endless beaches, a selection of 9 highly pigmented shadows reflecting the colours of the ocean and the rocks, including intense metallic shades with a high shine finish. Now, unfortunately, the one thing I will say, which is a slight disappointment for me, though I love the shades in this palette, they don't have any names. I would love if they had names, especially names inspired by Sydney and Australia. But this palette itself I absolutely adore, and I just could not hand it up. Hand it up, pass it up, that's the words I'm thinking of. I couldn't pass it up. So I have got it. I am hoping that these shades are as gorgeous on the eyes as they look in the palette. So let's go ahead and swatch these out. I think my light might be a little bit too bright. I might just lower it down a little bit, and I'll swatch these out. I'll start here, work my way across like so. Okay, I did it again. Is there any going to be a time when I don't swatch like an idiot? Okay, let's try that again. So as you can see, these colours are quite bright. The shimmers are very creamy, especially these ones along here. They are very, very creamy to the touch. And these ones, 1, 2, they are both shimmers as well. And as you can hopefully see, that's this one and this one. One of them is kind of champagne-y and one of them is a bit more of a gold. Now this this and this, which corresponds as this shade, and this shade, are the only mattes within the palette. Now, I have never used this palette before on my eyes, so I cannot yet make a comment on them, but we can definitely do that in next week's update. That's what we're here for, isn't it now? So, like I said, I picked this palette because it is one of the newest in my collection, and the name had me hook, line and sinker. So as an Australian, will I say straight up that these colours remind me of Sydney? I don't know, because I've only been to Sydney once, and I haven't been to the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and I haven't been to the Opera House. And when I was in Sydney for my one time, I was on the outskirts and I essentially drove on through to my next place. So I don't actually have much of an opinion on Sydney as a whole. Now, does this remind me of the beach? Yes, I think it does. I think this was quite a good colour story. I will say that these are quite sandy. These ones along here are very sandy, in fact. And this one, and this one, especially the two blues, are what I would class a perfect representation of the ocean. I'm quite happy with this palette, and I'm very much looking forward to giving it a spin. Now let's jump into the lipsticks. So the first lipstick for day 22 is the most recent lipstick in your collection. And sticking with the Australian theme, I've gone with the Australis Velour lipstick in Radelaide. Now, those who are not from Australia might not know, or even South Australia, might not know the term Radelaide. So the South Australian capital is Adelaide. And for those who are here, we tend to say Radelaide. We're going to Radelaide. It's not a very common thing. You don't use it in everyday conversation. It's more of like when you say Friday, you know, you're being a bit silly, I guess. But yes, I have called Adelaide Radelaide on a time or two. Now, this is the colour here. It is a chocolatey brown, and these Australis lipsticks smell divine. I love them. But this is their matte formula. Yes, it's their matte lip cream. So it is very, let me just move this light around a bit, make this a bit better maybe. Can you do that? Can you? There we go. It is definitely a chocolatey brown, definitely my type of colour for my current state I'm living in. So I'm definitely looking forward to wearing this one. Next up for day 23 is a drugstore lipstick, and I decided to go with this Revlon, what are they called? HD pencil crown things. This is in Arabica, and I have not used this one before. In fact, I probably haven't used a high proportion of this week's lipsticks. So let's just open this up so I can give you a swatch. And it is also a brown, but it's definitely, oh wow, that is very shiny. That is definitely more of a warm brown, and I would definitely say that this one here, that Radelaide, is a very cool brown. So this one is called Arabica. Day 24 is a two-toned lipstick, and I was definitely playing with what I wanted to do for this day. But I have this lipstick here, which is another NYX Liquid Suede in Foiled Again, and this is in my 10 uses lip edition project. So I wanted to get some use out of this. Is that sneaky? Yes, but that's what we're doing. Now, what was I going to mix with orange? I thought about just going with either a deeper or a darker orange. Then I thought about going with maybe a yellow, or maybe, which I've only got that one goldy yellow product. And then I thought about the options of maybe going with a pink or a red. Finally, I decided to use another NYX Liquid Suede, and this one is in Jet Set. And it is probably the furthest away from orange that you can get. It is a very deep, dark blue. Some will say it's purple, but I think it's more of a navy blue with my colour vision. So, this is what I'm going to try to create my two-toned lip out of. Let me just swatch these out. And we will see how this will turn out. But that's the best thing about this project and lipstick in general. You get to play with things that you probably wouldn't normally mix together. Though I do think blues and oranges go quite nice together. And if it doesn't work out, you just wash it off. Or, like this eye look today, which I personally don't really think worked out, especially with this specific lip, I just wore it anyway. Day 25 is a lipstick that inspires you to play. And that was a very hard choice for me because lipstick in general inspires me to play. I love trying out different lipsticks. I love wearing lipsticks that really are not your regular lipsticks. I love the reds, I love the browns, no, I don't love the pinks, but I do wear the pinks. I like hot pink, let me say, but normally I don't wear too many pinks. But what really inspires me will have to be something that is probably, one, my favorite color, and two, I haven't actually used it yet, but every time I see it, I think, oh, I want to use that lipstick. So that is another velour lipstick from a matte cream lip from Australis, and this one is called Emerald City. And if you can't tell already, it's a green. So let's have a swatch. And this is another matte formula. It is very green. It is, smells so good. And I am excited to have a play with this, especially with the palette of the week, and seeing what I can create. Following on from a lipstick that inspires you, day 26 is a vampy lip. And vampy lips are one of my jam. I love vampy lips. Blacks, dark reds, blood reds, blackened plums. All those things are my go-to if I don't know what to wear. So I decided to actually go with a L'Oreal lip paint. I don't think I have used any of these in this challenge so far, and I do have, I think, about 3 or 4 of them. This one is in Dark River, and it's kind of brown, kind of purple, kind of like a blackened purple, I guess is probably the way to say. It is gorgeous, and it is what I would consider vampy, and they smell really good too. So lipsticks have to smell good. So that is what I'll be wearing for a vampy lip. Day 27 is a glossy lip, and until the end of this year, so until Christmas last year, I only owned one lip gloss. Now I own a couple, and yes, they are NYX butter glosses. So this is the one I decided to use. This is the NYX Butter Gloss in Glazy Days, and I have never worn this before. So let's have a swatch. And it is definitely very glossy, but it is quite, oh, they smell good. Oh. It kind of smells like glaze. It's quite sweet. I like the smell of these. But that is what it looks like. So I will definitely be giving that a go. I have heard many good things about these butter glosses, so I really hope that they live up to the hype. Now last but not least, day 28. And this one is a forgotten favourite. And I found that also to be a hard pick, because overall I haven't forgotten, well, I have forgotten, but then I have forgotten some of the lipsticks I have, let's be honest. But they weren't favourites that I then forgot. They were ones I bought and maybe used once, maybe twice, maybe not at all, and I forgot I had them. But I didn't know what to consider a forgotten favourite, because most of my favourites I wear multiple times. But then Samantha and Shay both used this lipstick within the past couple weeks, and I thought, yes, I really love that lipstick. And then I thought, that's my forgotten favourite, because I have not worn it in a hot minute. And that is the NYX Liquid Suede in Kitten Heels. So this is a hot rod red. This is red. This is power heels. This is strong independent woman. This is femme fatale red. This is the definition of Hollywood right here in Kitten Heels. So that is what I will be wearing for my forgotten favourite. So that is the 7 lipsticks, well 8 technically, because you've got a 2-tone lip there, which makes 2 lipsticks, which makes 8. But these are the lipsticks I'm going to be wearing for the next 7 days, and this is the palette I'm going to be joining with them. Do you think I have made a good choice in this lineup here? I can't tell yet, so let's see how that goes. Well, this is the end of the week 4 introduction, I guess, the week 4 video. So I'm Verity. That was the 4th episode for my Lips versus Eyes challenge that I'm doing with Brandy, Samantha and Shay. And now to the outro.